Hello and welcome to Clive's Corner. So today we are continuing with our series Excel automation. So we are looking at method number 2. Previously we looked at what macros are. Now we are looking at the second method of automating Excel, which is Power Query. So I'm just going to show you an example of what I've already done and show you how to create it on your own. All right, the first thing that I'm going to show you is how to query a table. So here I've queried a table. So this is the primary table, and this is the query which is updating this part here. So imagine you have a table which you want to keep on updating on a monthly basis and then build a report. This report can be a pivot table, can be any table. But when you build that report, you want to do some transformation. So you can see, for example, here I have my first name and surname in separate columns, but here I've combined. There are a lot of transformation that you can do, but this is just a simple example to just show you that you can do any transformation. So every month you want to put data here and just have the result come in here. So I'll just put an example. Let me just update this table. Okay, so I've added a new line here. Then once I add a new line, when I click refresh here, it will automatically update and also apply the same kind of transformation that I've done on this sample data here. So let me just hit refresh. I would need to just save first and hit refresh. So you can see the name and surname have been combined using the transformation that I've done on the back end. Okay, so this is when you have data in a table and you just want to query it and put it in another table here. The second thing you can also do is you can also query data from just a tab. There's no table here, so you just query data or from another Excel file. So you can query also data from another Excel file or from the same file. So I'm going to query it and bring the results here. Why I'm not bringing the results here is because in this kind of a query, when you add new columns here, they will be automatically picked and they will be put in your query. So what I'm going to show you, I'm going to also do the same, just add one extra row at the bottom here. Let me just copy this. I've added the new one. So if I add this one and just hit on refresh here. So let me just first refresh without adding the last one. Hit refresh. You can see just showing these 6 records. But if I add an extra record here, so with this one I have to save first. Hit refresh. You can see it added this new line at the bottom here. So this is querying another tab. So the third thing that I want to show you is querying a folder. So imagine I have a folder where I have a file that I receive on a monthly basis, or a folder that gets updated on a monthly basis. So there is someone who drops a file in a folder on a monthly basis. And what I want to do is every month I just come in and refresh this file and be able to pick if there is a new file and just add the data here. So you can see I have this folder here, which has Jan and Feb. And if I just open the sample for Jan, you'll see how it looks like. It has name, say name. Then we have the month here and the sales units here. So I want to be able to paste all the months and just come in my report and refresh it. Or if someone is pasting in that folder, I just want to be able to come and refresh without going and opening that folder. It can be a lot of files. So if people are adding a lot of files on a daily basis, it will be quite onerous to go each and every time in a folder and check which ones are the new files and load them. So I would rather let my query do it for me. So if I can just come here and refresh, you can see if I refresh here, nothing happens because I didn't add anything new. But if I go to the folder and just paste the files for the rest of the year, so it's pulling from this file. I can say replace this. I think there's a duplicate. So now I have all the files for the 12 months. And if I go back to my working book, then I can just come here and say refresh. It should show all the results here. So you see it has put all the information in. So that's what I'm also going to show you as the third way. Okay, let's get started. Right. So the first method that I showed you was to grab data from your table into your query. So it's fairly easy. To do a query, you come to this data tab here and you can say new query. Then it asks you where do you want to get the data from. Or this is one way you can do. So to just quickly show you the sources so you can get the data from your workbook, which is the second method I'm going to show you, from a CSV file, XML file, text file, from a folder, which is the third method I'm going to show you, or you can get from any of these databases, or these databases, there are Azure databases as well, or from online services, or from any other sources like from a web portal. So you can actually get a table. If there's a web page which has a table you want to be getting on a daily basis or on a monthly basis, you can just link it using this functionality here. So I'm just going to say, because I want to get it from table, I can just use from table here. So I'll just select the table, then I say from table. Then it opens this Power Query editor where I can do any transformation that I want to do. So you can do any transformations, but for the sake of this video, I'm just going to show you one simple thing. I will have another video later on where I can show different ways you can transform your data. But for now, I'm just going to show you a simple transformation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to combine these two columns, make it one, and separate it by a delimiter. So to do that, I just need to select my two columns. Then I right click on it. Oh, sorry, I have to right click on here on the column, because if I right click anywhere else, it can just deselect. So I will just right click here and say merge columns. Then a pop-up window will come asking me what separator do I want to use. Here it's saying none. If I say none, then it will just merge the two columns with no separation, but it's not going to make sense because this is name and surname. If it was part of the name in here and another part of the name, the last part of the name on this side, then I'll just merge without any separator. But because it's name and surname, I might need a separator, so I can say I need a space. Or you can use custom, then you can put whatever separator you want to see. But for now, I'll just put space. Then what it will be my new column name? My new column name is going to be, I'll just call it name. Then I say, okay. So here I have my merged name. Look, I'm just working with one file, but when I load another new file, or when I load any other new data at the bottom, it is going to automatically apply the same transformation steps. Then I will just then say close and edit, close and load. But I will have to choose where I want to load it to. I can just say close and load. It will create a new tab and add a table there, or I can choose close and load to. Then here it's asking, okay, I'll just keep selected on table. Then here, instead of saying new, I'll just say existing. Then I can select where I want my new table to be. So I'll just say my table should be in H here. Then I say okay. Then I say load. Okay, so this is my new table, which is linked to that table. So if I add anything new at the bottom here, if I copy my release here and copy here at the bottom and say this is month 2, and I just come here and refresh, you can see the data is pulling through. So this is how you can do a query from another table. So if you get the data and it's not a table and you want to make use of this type of querying your data using a table, you can just convert your data into a table, then you can create a query. All right, the second thing that I mentioned is querying from a tab. So this is just from a tab without a table. So you can also query that data. So I'm going to query the results into here. So to do that, what you have to just do is you can, even if I'm selecting here, it's all fine. Then I can say data. Then I say new query from. So this time we are getting from workbook. So I'll say from workbook. Then I have to choose the workbook I'm getting the data from. So my workbook name is query practice. So this is my workbook. Then I say import. So now I have to choose the tab that I want. So I could have also done the same using the table. I would have selected this table. This is the table we queried previously. But now we want to query just from a tab. So I will just select the tab we want to query from. So that's the name of my tab here. So I'm querying from this tab here. So if I add data in column F here, it's going to be automatically be picked up as well. So I have to then say tab, then I say I want to transform the data. I just don't need to load it. I want to transform it first because I want to do some transformations here. So this is quite cool for when you want to clean your data. You can do any cleansing process using a Power Query actually. Okay, then I'll do the same transformation. I'll just say I want to combine these columns. I want to merge them. This time around, I want to use a that time we used space, so this time I want to use a semicolon. Then I want to call it ends. Look what is happening here. The steps, the transformation steps are coming up here. So this is the navigation, is just to select. This is basically AI, which is helping us to say what is the kind of the source here. And here promoted header, it automatically sends that there are headers in my data. Then you can see the headers were here, but when I then apply the transformation, it's artificial intelligence actually determine that, oh, actually these are headers. Sometimes it won't automatically do that. Then you have to just come here and say use first rows as headers. Let me just do that with this one. I know it's going to be or let me just do before here. So sometimes it will just come from this step and not have this promoted header. So you can actually just say use first rows as headers. Then I just say insert a step. So you can see it does exactly the same as what it actually did with this one. So, but because it is already doing it, I'm going to just delete my new step which I've added here. Delete. Then it changes the type. So here it comes and determines what type is this. This is actually a number. It just senses it. It's artificial intelligence again. And this is text. It just determines that it's text. Okay, then this is the step which I've done manually, which is merging the columns. So these are the transformation steps. Okay, then I can say close and load to, because I want to choose where I want to load it to. Then again, I can say existing worksheet. Then I can want to load it to. Then I can say I want to load it here. Then I say load. Okay, you can see it's loaded in here. Likewise, if I add a new column, a new row at the bottom here, this one, as I have mentioned, I need to save it first. So I've saved it. I just press Ctrl S. Then if I come here and refresh, it's going to pull the new row. Okay, there's the new row here, which I just added. The third method, which I'm going to look at, is querying a folder. So querying a folder, I have this folder here. I will be dropping files here, and I want to just refresh my query somewhere in here, and it will be able to just pick up the new files. So let's see how we can create that query. It's actually easy. So look here. Here it's adding the, this is the first query we did where we were querying a table. Then this is the query where we query the workbook. So these are just the automatic name it gives, but we can actually rename the query also. So let's add querying a folder. So again, you go to your data and you just say query. Then instead from file, you say from folder here. Here you have to select the folder you want to query. So I'm just going to go to Excel automation, Power Query, random files. So my files will be in random files here. That's where I will be throwing my files on a monthly or daily basis. Okay, then I say okay. Here you see the power of artificial intelligence and what Excel have done. So here it will just say this is the file which is there. If I had more files, it would have shown them all here. But at the moment, there's only one file, which is fine. I can just then say, okay, I want to transform my data first. You can now see here it's showing these are the actually contents of that file. So we have, it's a binary, content is stored in binary form, and this is the name of the file, this is the extension. So I can also filter if I want to, if there are also CSV files there, but I just want to load XLS files, I can just filter and say I just want XLSX files only and not CSVs. Or if I only want CSVs, I can also do the same as well. Or if I want only TXT files, I can also do the same. But for now, we are all going to load everything that is in there, so I don't have to put anything. So a person can even put a CSV file, a text file, whatever file, as long as if there's the same number of columns and same column names, we are going to be able to consume it. Okay, then here what I just need to do is to say, okay, I want to expand the content because when I load it, I want to load the contents of that file. I'll just pull the contents here. So here saying, okay, these are the parameters. Okay, so what do you want to select? So I need to select sheet 1. That's the only sheet which is there. So if I click it, I can see that this is the data I need. If there are many sheets, it will only select the sheet which I will indicate here. And I have to make sure that each and every file that I drop into this folder, it needs to have this sheet 1. So if it doesn't have sheet 1, it's not going to be loaded. It is going to cause an error. So I have to make sure that all the subsequent files that I drop into this folder, they do have this sheet 1. Okay, then I say, so you can choose, if there were many files, I can say, okay, choose the file which I want to use as the sample file, but I only have one file, which is the first file, the Jan file. So I'll just use that one. That's also fine. Okay, then here you can tick to say skip files with errors. So if there are errors, it will be automatically skipped. But if I don't tick this one, if there are any errors, it will cause an error in the whole transformation. So I want to be able to pick up when there are errors, so I don't usually tick this one because I want to also notice it when we have errors. Then I can go and fix the errors than just skipping the file, because I'll think that my report is complete, but there is a missing file which didn't load because it had errors. Okay. Just evaluating the query processes. You'll see how artificial intelligence will help us to generate some steps which I didn't actually do manually. So you can see here on the left here, so this is what it has done. So all of this was not there. We only had these two queries, but all these were added as a result of this querying we are doing. So it gives me now, this is the contents of the file in my folder. Then here it's giving me the source name. Do I need the source name? No, I don't need it. So I can just delete. I can remove this column. Okay, so these are the transformation steps which are happening. But here you look, all these steps, we didn't even do them manually. They were just added by artificial intelligence from Excel. Okay, then now that it's done, I can also do the same transformation of combining my, let me just combine, merge the columns. So you can see name, surname, and separated by this line here. So then I'm done now. I'll just say existing worksheet. Okay, it's not allowing me to load. It's fine. I can just load it anyway. Then I can just go cut it and paste it here. So it's fine. Just say load. It created it in a new worksheet, sheet 4 here. I'll just select it and cut it. I just click Control X, then I Control V, I paste it here, then I can delete, get rid of. So there is my query. If I refresh it, you can see it's refreshing and it's not giving me an error, telling me 6 rows are loaded. So if I can go back to the folder and add new file, so let me just go and add fab. Of rows are loaded. So come next month, if I want to load for the, or come following day, if I want to, I receive new files, I just drop them in my folder, or somebody drop the files in the folder. Let's just drop the rest of the year here. Okay. Somebody just drops quite a number of files. Okay, skip this file because it's already there. Drops the file. All I need to just, I don't need even to go to the folder. I just need to go to my workbook and refresh it, and all the data will be there. And here it has loaded 72 rows, which is 6 times 12. So all my data is there. December is there, April, August, Jan, Feb, July. I can also just sort it from smallest to largest according to the months. Okay, so Jan, Feb, March, April, May, up to December. All my data is there. So you can keep on loading files and it will automatically be loaded in here. All right, so that's it with queries, guys. Watch out for my other videos on queries where I'm going to explain the transformation steps as well. Okay, before I end on this video, I just want to show you on the query design as well. So if you just select, you can see it's showing you, these are the columns that I have in my query. And you can go and edit the query. I just want to go and edit the first one here. If I select also on the query, it automatically goes and open where it has been loaded. So if I just edit this, I want to edit it. Okay, so you can edit using here to come and edit using this line here, or you can actually go to the advanced editor here. So you can see this is the full transformation process, which is captured here. So what it's saying is, let the source be this. So this is my source, which is a table, right? Then once this is my source, the source has been established. So this is actually the current workbook is just the same way we use in macros. So if you watched my previous video on macros, so here it's just telling me excel.current workbook is just selecting the current workbook. Then from there, it then passes a parameter, which is called the table1. So this is the table1. And it's saying that we are grabbing content from table1. Then from there, it then says with that content or table.transform columns. Now it's now doing something to the source. So it's saying, okay, this is the content that I have, which is the source. Now it's using the source as a variable. So this is my variable source, and saying, giving a name to this procedure, which is the name I would have given here. So I can rename these steps. So it's saying, okay, this is the next step, which is change type. What are we doing in change type step? We are transforming the table.transform. So we are transforming the table. What are we transforming? We are transforming in this to text. Then the second name to text again. Then month, we are transforming it to integer. Year to integer because it's a number. So this has been done automatically. Also, if we want to change it, we can say actually our month should be text. Even though it's a number, we want it to show as a text. If I can just come and change it here. Done. You can see now it's showing that it's text. ABC shows that it's text. So it has been changed to. We go back to the editor. I want it to be integer, so it's fine. I can just put back my integer here. So that's the syntax you have to just use to transform if you want to transform to integer. Then after that, it says the next step we are going to do is merge columns. Once we merge columns, what are we going to do? We are going to use this variable of the previous step. So we are going to take the data that have been changed type, then we are going to use that data and do the table.combine columns. Then we specify the columns that we want to combine, this first name and second name column. And the other thing that you have to also pass in there is the delimiter you are going to use. So this is the space delimiter we used here. And this is the end result. What is the name of the end result column you are going to use? So these are the things that you have to just add in if you are doing a merge column. If you want to do a next step here, you can also just name it whatever you name it. You just start with the hash, then you put in quotes the name of the step you are adding. Then after that, you just say equals. Then remember, now you will be using the merged columns as your variable here. So you are just taking whatever from the merged columns and do whatever the transformation you need to do here. And here at the end, once you change, you have to use the name of the last thing you did here. Because if you use this name here, it is going to take the result as it was on top there. So you can see that here I've changed use change type. It will take the result before the merged columns. So it will ignore the last column, the last transformation I've done here. So you have to take your last transformation you have done here. So if I take this one, you'll see that this will be merged. So this is the merged result. So that's it with queries. If you have any questions, please do send me questions in the comment box. I will respond. So next time, I'm going to be looking at the third way of automating data, which is Power Pivot. All right, enjoy. Bye-bye.